During the final battle between the heroes of the kingdom and the allies versus the Serpent Squad and the Demon Alliance, Wingman felt as if the entire city was shaken as they fought. Though, while processing it all, he was tackled by the demon Fangna that referred to him as an old friend. Confused after Crazy John came to his aid, he renounced it and attempted to put an end to Fangna, but it faced through a wall. Though Wingman didn't put much thought into it, as he believed someone else would have defeated it during the battle. Fangna, knowing that his side was losing the battle, decided to escape in the chaos in order to fight another day. Making his way to the prisoner held in cell 66 on cell block 6 that was calling out to him through a blood ritual, which was in fact none other than the infamous Dr. Disastro, I think I butchered that, known more commonly as Dr. Disastro, who gladly accepts Fangna's deal of throwing the world into chaos in order to usher in the rising tide of demons from below. Back at Kingdom HQ, Wes meets up with Peter after his battle with the devil in Israel, asking Peter if he has a second to talk about his parents, which Peter was already expecting such a request from Wes, already pulling up the Project Epsilon file, which he'll share some info on as they make their way towards the lab. Project Epsilon was the last team of super agents Wes's parents put together before they passed away. Noah, his father, was a speedster whose code name was Juke, and Jill, his mother, was called Whisper, equipped with a cognate ring, a powerful item that allowed her to compel anyone to do anything by simply asking them. When they get to the lab and meet up with Keith in the middle of an equipment upgrade, aka Wingman, Peter gives them the next mission debriefing. To track down and put a stop to the demon-possessed Dr. Disastro, who broke out of prison 2 days prior and was already setting his new plans in motion. Jumping straight out of the Kingdom's Skyblade jet into Disastro's hurricane near his base in Claremore, Oklahoma, Wes's discernment that he refers to as his spider sense for demons started to ring off like crazy right before they were both struck by lightning, with Dr. Disastro deploying his Disastro bots to put an end to them before they can stop the storm. But Wingman was fully prepared to fight off against the bots with the equipment upgrades he got from the lab. Unfortunately though, it was no match for Disastro's lightning chain, using it to subdue him as he prepped his proton grenade to take Wingman out. But luckily enough, Wes stepped in just in time, blocking and absorbing the blast with his alpha suit before pummeling all of Disastro's bots. But he was no match for Disastro himself, stating he moved so fast, so brutal, wasn't ready, never been hit that hard, proceeding to taunt Disastro despite getting beaten by him as Wingman encourages Wes to have faith. And in that moment, as Disastro continues to pummel Wes, he cried out saying, "If God is for us, who can be against us?" as his alpha suit transforms into something he didn't know it was capable of, quoting Ephesians 6:12, which says, "For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against rulers, against the authorities, against the powers of the dark world, and against the spiritual forces of evil in heavenly realms," transforming the alpha suit into its armor of God form, fully equipped with the sword of the spirit. And Wes goes to town on Disastro and the remainder of his bots, until Disastro tries to escape, seeing that his defeat was near, making his way all the way to his rocket ship thinking he made a narrow escape, until Wes quite literally yeets his sword of the spirit through the sky, striking the rocket ship, causing it to completely foil Disastro's plans. While Wes checks in on Wingman after the battle, he asks him one important question: "Do you know how to turn off a weather disruption machine?" Which Wingman replies, "Shooting it usually works for me." And with that, let's put Alpha Red issue 6 on our gospel-infused entertainment judgment scale. Yeah, a little refresh from the Christian fiction judgment scale from before. Same scale, just refresh on some of the category names, which has actually been 5 months since we've had a comic review on this channel. So for story direction and concept written by James Nguyen and Ray McKay, this issue locks in a solid 4 to 5 on our scale. It's an awesome start for this arc of the series, And for those of you who are new or returning, we covered the first 5 issues of Alpha Red roughly 2 years ago to date in 2023. And we also did an interview with the creator of the series, James Nguyen, on I believe our 8th episode of the Curious Initiative podcast. Yeah, 8th episode. 9th episode of the Curious Initiative podcast. Was just checking it real quick while recording this live. And I must say that from all the bones I had to pick with him and my concerns and questions, this issue has laid all of that to rest. Well, the podcast did lay it to rest, but seeing how he just adjusted some things in the series compared to the previous issues, I am excited for the new direction and the stories to come out of the Alpha Red universe, especially with the pairing of Wes and Keith together and more Kingdom and the villains of the Alpha Red universe lore. I've always praised James for his approach to Wes's character development, especially the way he incorporates faith as being an essential aspect of the Kingdom's technology and Wes's Alpha suit. So seeing it transform into the whole armor of God was a absolute cinema moment for me. Definitely looking forward to see what other abilities Wes is going to discover in future issues. When it comes to dialogue, it's also a 4 to 5 with my favorite panel coming out of Wes's battle against the Disastro bots when he fully activated the Armor of God mode for the Alpha suit. I don't read the comic dialogue word for word and do a summary that does not do the comics I review any justice, because it's a summary and it's a review. It's not a complete like watch this video to experience a full comic. It's just a very rough bare bones summary of what went on in the series. So it doesn't do it justice, but this comic was a fun read. Even all of Wes's random quips that James throws in there. Artwork and creativity when it comes to comparing panel to panel with other comics we've covered on the channel, it sits at a 5 out of 5. James is my second favorite artist of all the books we reviewed on the channel, with Olin Orig being my first if you were curious. So the Alpha Red series has always won out on the artwork score for every issue we've done, except the 4th issue. I don't know why, but I gave that a 4.5 out of 5 looking at my rankings Excel sheet. But it's a solid 5 out of 5. I mean, come on now. Look at the Alpha suit in its Armor of God mode. The Sword of the Spirit with the Hebrew engravings. Everything on that is it's just awesome. It's just awesome. When it comes to biblical application, yes, a little name refresh of our theological basis category, but the same ranking, same system. We just changed the name, but it is the same ranking and looks at the same criteria, which refers to how well biblical principles are adapted into a piece of fictional work. And it's a solid 5 out of 5, if not for the Armor of God panel alone, but also the overlaying theme during the battle of holding fast in faith. And unlike how I criticized previous issues where the scripture panels felt just random or popping at times, in this issue it fitted perfectly into the story and the artwork. I really liked how James did that in this issue. So lastly, my recommendation score against the volume of gospel infused comics we have covered, it's a 5 out of 5 and a solid issue to get the comic reviews going back on the channel here. So overall, Alpha Red issue 6 gets a 4.6 out of 5 from the Xplanations. Link to purchase the comic can be found at the top right hand corner of your screen or in the description below. If you enjoyed the video, then why not consider leaving a like on it and subscribing for more reviews and coverage of comics made by professing believers. If you enjoyed the video to the point you want to check on another one on the channel, then be sure to click the card at the top right hand corner of your screen to check out our other Alpha Red reviews, or you can check out how getting rejected by Marvel led James Nguyen down the path to create this amazing series.